I could never understand why Mattel stopped doing super chases. Like, they were really the highlight of any Cars collector's year. At least for me. I mean, they were a lot of fun before. And I don't even really remember finding one, but it was just fun going to look for them. And, maybe you'd find one, you never know because they'd make quite a few every year. And it would always be like, hey, in a couple months, there'll be another one. A couple months, yeah, okay, we'll go look again. But, they really just stopped doing them in, when was it? I guess 2018, 19, around then. I think Biz Torkson was like the last one or one of the last ones. But in 2016, they did a whole heck of a lot of them because I believe that was the year they did all the circus cars. Plus, they did Mater with duct tape, which wasn't a really great one, but still kind of cool. They did Bud the Big RV. They had planned to do the Outback Miles Axelrod, but they canceled them unfortunately. And they also did this guy right here, the small but mighty J. Lo Lee, one of the King's fans from the first Cars movie. And I just love this guy. I love his name. He's really, really cool. I mean, honestly, if they would have released him in the 2010 Final Lap series, I don't think we'd really be talking about him all that highly today. But, I don't know. He reminds me of a car that would have been released then. It's surprising that he didn't get released then. But especially because he does appear next to a pretty prominent background character in the first Cars movie. So I'm a little surprised that they didn't release him sooner. But yeah, he ended up getting released in 2016 Singles Case M, the final case of the year. And, well, obviously he was a super chase. So that means one car in one case in 1 year, never to be seen again. And, well, so far, Mattel has held true to that rule, and they haven't released any super chases yet, but they did release 2 chases, those being Lee Race and who was the other one now? Now I can't think. Oh my gosh, come on. I just had it in my head. Oh well. Either way, welcome on back to the Cars Garage, everybody. Yeah, it is time to review J. Lowly, who I did not get in a store, obviously, because he's about a decade old now, and he's obviously splitting quite a bit. But if you saw him big old Mr. Docket haul that I did just a few days ago, whenever that was, I actually unboxed him from that haul of cars. But no, he did not come from Mr. Docket himself. I actually got this guy from someone on Facebook. I don't know, it was a marketplace seller. I also got the Rep and Go Racer from Cars 3 from him, and I didn't pay much for either of them. I paid I think it was 10 for each, but it might have been 5 for Jay, honestly, which is insane. But there's not much to talk about with the packaging because I absolutely hate this packaging. Not the style of it, but just whenever in 2016, whenever they would put this app logo on the front right here, says free download. Let's get a zoom in. It was for the Cars Daredevil Garage app, I believe. I don't know. I never even played it. Yeah, that's what it was. Because the other one, the Fastest Lightning one, that was actually fun, but they never advertised that on the packaging. This one they did because it was kind of from Mattel. You had to scan your diecast. I believe half the time they didn't even work. I never really tried, but that's what I've heard from people. And I don't know. It was just, I don't really get what the point of it was. I don't even think you raced after you scanned the cars. What did you do? Was there a game? I don't even really know. But I've never heard good things about it from anybody. So yeah, it just kind of ruined the packaging in 2016, which sucks because, obviously we got a lot of cool cars in 2016. So it would have been really nice to get, nice packaging too. But obviously from the Super Chase series, and then it says free download, unlock your car in the Cars Daredevil Garage app. Download on the App Store, see back panel. And you got Radiator Springs McQueen on there. The Cars 2 version. There is Jay's artwork looking very nice with his big old piston cup foam hat and the King 43 flag, which actually looks to be pretty much the same as Matthew True Blue McCrue's, but he doesn't have the 43, so I guess it's a little different. Then we have the Cars logo up there. I think this one's a little bit faded, this card. It looks to be a little faded to me, at least. I don't really know how that happened, but it kind of seems to be. It's also splitting, like I said. So yeah, it's an older one. It just wasn't kept in the best of condition, I guess, but that's okay. On the back, it says, oh, I didn't know that. It actually says a description about the car. Wow. It says, J. Lo Lee has always been a die-hard Piston Cup fan, pledging his loyalty to the King since the first time he saw him hit the track. J. Lo has been to every race that the number 43 has ever entered proudly wearing his Lucky Piston Cup hat. Something in me tells me not to believe that because he doesn't look to be all that old of a car. And as we know, the King has been racing since the 70s. So I don't know if I buy that, but I guess, yeah, I don't know. I guess he was probably about 30 years old in the first Cars movie, or maybe 35 or so. So I guess it's possible if he started going when he was a kid. I never really understood like Cars ages. It really doesn't make all that much sense. But either way, yeah, here he is. Well, it's not where he appears, not in the exact scene, but there's the place he appears at, the Los Angeles International Speedway there. And then it says scan car with Cars Daredevil Garage app, and then unlock a digital version. I just don't really understand what the point of this app was, but either way, it says see the complete diecast collection at www.mattel.com/cars. I don't know if you can still do that. I'm going to have to try that out later. But either way, without any further ado, let's bust open Jay and see how he looks. That sure must have been something for Jay to be at his favorite race car's biggest event in history. I mean, not only was it the King's first ever, I'd assume at least, three-way tie breaker race, but it was also his last race ever. So pretty darn monumental for the King, and of course all of his race fans, especially J. Lo Lee, because as we know from the back of the card, he has been to every single one of his races. I don't even know how that's possible. I mean, think about how many races that would be. I don't even know. Like, how many races are there in one season? I'd assume at least 100. I don't know, though, to be honest. I used to be kind of into NASCAR, so I should know this. But either way, that'd be a lot of races. Definitely thousands and thousands of them. So I'd assume Jay Lowley must be somewhat a little bit on the wealthy side to be able to afford all these races, especially some of the bigger ones, but I'm not really sure. Either way, though, before we get too far into this, I do want to show you where he appears at in the first Cars movie. Of course, I was talking about he appears next to someone you may know. That is Todd the Pizza Planet truck, of course. He's parked right next to him while Daryl, Cartrip, and Bob Cutlass are getting interviewed near the entrance of the Los Angeles International Speedway. So maybe Jay actually got to be on TV. That would be pretty cool. I don't really think he was in the frame, though, because he was kind of like on the far left of the screen. So yeah, he probably wouldn't have really got in that shot, unfortunately. That would have been cool for Jay, though, to be on TV. I'm sure he has been, on TV in some way, shape, or form in the past, though, considering how many races he's been to. I'd assume since around the 70s, he's probably been on camera at least once. But anyways, that was a far in, zoom in, close up shot of Jay. I really do like his flag here. It's very rubbery and just kind of moves all around. And his piston cup hat, actually, I was going to say it's plasticky and hard, but no, it's not actually. It's rubber too. That's kind of weird. I've never really seen a piston cup hat like this be so hard before, because I know that there's quite a few other cars that have these piston cup hats, and this one here on Brad Windmiller is not soft really at all. It's a little soft, I guess, but it's mostly hard, kind of like a plastic, and doesn't really feel all that squishy, whereas Jay's, you can kind of move it around and just kind of have fun with it. But then again, this is a Thailand Brad Windmiller, so maybe it's just a China to Thailand thing. I'm not really sure, because of course Jay has never been made from Thailand, and hopefully he never does get made from Thailand, because that would mean that Mattel broke their own rule and re-released a Chase, which would not really be good. But either way, I love his expression, very, very enthusiastic looking, and I feel like his eyes actually look a little blurry. It almost looks like he is made from Thailand, but nope, he missed out by about 2, almost 3 years, so that's good. And then he does share the same exact car model as one other car, and it's not actually a car that you may really know all that much about. It's Kim Carlin's, who's actually, I think she was released earlier in 2016, which is kind of funny. But unfortunately, he does have the same license plate as her too. I don't have Kim. She's a very basic looking car, kind of the same model, and then just a slightly different shade of blue. So really nothing too special. But yeah, the only difference I could tell is the mirrors. For some reason, Jay has like rubber mirrors, and it's like a separate piece. But with Kim, her mirrors are just little metal blobs attached to the main metal body. But yeah, really cool looking mouth there, very happy looking. I feel like it looks similar to Darla's. Yeah, definitely. Not the exact same. Darla's is kind of wider, but it's definitely similar. He does kind of look a little similar to Darla, just his whole model. But you can tell kind of like the shape of the windows on the side that it's not really the exact same. It's definitely similar though. Yeah, I guess she has that piece of trim going around her sides and back, and Jay does not have that. So that's another change. He's also similar to that red car, but she's like bigger, but I think she is supposed to be the same model. They just kind of overscaled her. I think that was supposed to be, I forget her name. Oh, M.A. Brake Drum. That's who it is. Yeah. That's supposed to be Coriander Track's mom, I think. So he is kind of the same as that too. All the headlights might be slightly different and stuff like that, but for the most part, the model should be the same between J, M.A., and Kim. Yeah, Kim. But yeah, other than that, really, there's not really much differences. But what's cool about Jay is that he doesn't have little holes in his rims to show the axles. I think that's pretty cool. They kind of hide them, which is very nice. Nice silver rims. And then on the back, like I said, he has the same license plate as Kim Carlin's, unfortunately. But it's alright, I guess, since I don't have Kim. If I already had Kim, then I'd be like, oh, that's kind of annoying. It says new coil. I don't know what that's a clarification of. I guess new oil? No, I don't know. New York, I guess, but we already know from planes that New York is called New York in the world of cars, so I don't really know what that's a clarification of. Interesting. But it is like a red, white, and blue license plate, which almost looks like France or Texas to me. So that's kind of odd. I don't know where New Coil is supposed to be. What state is that a clarification of? I have no idea. But I feel like I'm not just being stupid. I feel like there is no clarified state other than New York. I don't know that could be. I'm not sure. But either way, ML115 is the license plate. On the bottom, what does that say? Let me try to see. Oh, it just says state. New oil state. Oh, new coil state. I don't know. It must be the new. What's. I guess it's not. I guess it's supposed to be not a clarified state. It's supposed to be kind of like, I guess, a clarified slogan for a state. So I don't know. It can't be Texas because we already know that's the Lone Car state instead of the Lone Star state. So I don't know what that's a clarification of. I really don't. Usually I can tell pretty easily, but not really today so much. But on his base, of course, we have date stamp reads 1906 EAA, which means he was made on the 190th day of 2016, of course, made in China, of course. And yeah, overall, just really, really cool. On his flag, by the way, I didn't really look at his flag. I got sidetracked by the squishiness of this piston cup hat. It's cool because it does kind of feel like real foam, which it's supposed to be. But it just says the King 43, and it says it on both sides, so that's cool. It's kind of similar to Matthew True Luma Cruz flag, but his is actually bigger, and it's quite a bit different. Doesn't have the ball on the top, while Jay's doesn't, and then obviously it has the number 43, so it has quite a few differences, but he's pretty darn cool. I like Jay Lowly a lot. Definitely one of the best cars they've made a super chase. But then again, he is, I guess, a little bit on the basic side because he is just a race fan. I just like the story they gave to him and everything. I think that's pretty cool. But here's Darla Vanderson with her squishy hat. This is from Thailand too, and it's squishy, so I don't know. This one's from China and it's squishy, and then Brad is from Thailand and his is not squishy, so that's kind of odd. And then Matthew True Blue McCrew's flag is squishy, so I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, he's also kind of similar, but not the. Actually, you know what? He is kind of the exact same as Marty Breakburst. But I guess I wouldn't say he's the exact same. Well, I mean, Marty has a spoiler, and Jay does not. The mirrors are different. I don't know. The windows are kind of the same, though. Yeah, all the proportions are kind of the same. It's even his headlights are actually kind of the same. Interesting. Does he have a mouth plate? No, he doesn't. Never mind. But Marty does, so that's cool. They didn't put a mouth plate on this guy. And then Jim Rimmer, kind of the same. Nah, he's kind of too big to be the same. And then Jamie. It's also kind of the same, but not really the same model. Jamie's kind of too long. And then I guess that's it. I thought I had another car off to the side, but I guess not. So yeah, I guess that'll be it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy my review of J. Lo Lee. I think it's a really cool car. Thank you to the Facebook Marketplace seller for giving him to me for such a low price. And thank you to Mr. Docket for shipping him out to me. Anyways, though, with all that, I will see you guys next time on the Cars Garage. And happy 2025, first video of the year.